Hello everybody and welcome to round 10, is it? Yes, round 10, British Grand Prix in the Nebula Racing League. I'm Andres Nino, you should know me as IF Nino, and in the commentary booth with me is the one and only Zach, or Zesty Racing as you may know him.
Hello, welcome to Silverstone. We're in Q1. It's going to be an interesting qualifying session.
Has the qualifying session started yet, or...?
Yes,
yes,
they're all
alright, so
on track now.
I'll put it up. Kind of run the intro late there. So just a quick rundown. Just the cars are going up for their flying laps. So in the driver's standings, after the last race, which is another clear win for Craig Baxter, he leads the championship by a whopping 193 points, and he has an 87-point lead to second place Sam Carpenter of Team Sabre Racing, and then Craig Baxter's teammate Scott Davidson lies in third with 91 points, and in fourth place we have Kieran Chadwick in the KRT, the popular KRT car, with 70 points.
Yeah, the KRT are definitely the fan favourite, especially with that Arab backing.
Obviously there's Arab, who was commentating last week, unfortunately could not commentate this week, that's why I'm here replacing. He sponsors the team, doesn't he?
He does, yeah. So KRT, bit suspicious the team, the Korean racing team.
Yeah. This race we have both drivers this time. Last weekend we only had Kieran, but this time we have both Kieran and Richard. Am I right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So we've got Craig going. I think he's gone purple in the first sector. He looks like he's going to the real
Craig
trendsetter.
on his first lap, he's gone the 24.7 in his first sector.
So he'll be progressing now. Obviously, the person to look for in terms of pole position and probably the race win.
Yeah, probably. It's
Looks
probably
like
going to
he's
be
the
between him, Craig Baxter, and Championship Signup for the for both pole and race win. They're probably clearly the two fastest drivers in the league so far.
Yeah.
Chem was like kind of a late starter to the league. He only joined. He was officially joined just for this race. The last two races were kind of him just as a temporary, wasn't he?
Yeah, so he's sort of just super sub really, as Arab called him, filling in for the odd race, and now he's actually joined VD Sport full time.
Alright, so we have Craig Baxter completing his first lap. He did a 1:04 for the second sector, and he's going to complete his first lap here in a 1:30.4. That puts him in pole position at the moment. So anybody else who's completed their lap, we have Kieran Chadwick on the 1:39. Scott Davidson on 1:31.1, Kieran currently in third, Scott in fifth, Kieran White in fourth.
Yeah, so the top 10 obviously progressing through to Q2 at the end of the session. We've got
yes, because we have more drivers this time. Last week it was only top 8 that went through because of there was less drivers, but we have a driver count of 18 races, don't we?
Yep, yeah, so 18 people here today. We've got Craig just marginally ahead of Enrique Andre in the driller's car, and then there's a bit of a gap to Kieran Chadwick with 5/10 behind.
Yeah. So how many people have just completed? It's currently the top 7 have only completed a lap. Sam is currently, I think he's letting cars through in there. I think he's just gone out from he just come out of the pits there, so he's just letting cars by. So yeah, at the moment in the Q1 with just under 8 minutes left to go, we have Craig Baxton leading, and we have Eric Andre second place, Kieran Chadwick in third, Aidan Paulson fourth, Kieran White fifth, Scott Davidson sixth, Kevin Cox in seventh. Those are the 7 cars that currently only done actual lap times, or time laps. Sorry, kind of messed up.
Yeah, it's quite impressive there by Enrique Andre to be so close to Craig, but Craig's about maybe a second away from his best time that he's set in practice. So
yeah, I think we'll definitely see faster times from Craig, and we've yet to see the time from Jembal Bassi. We hopefully want to see where he comes into the fray. We want to see how close or how far he is from Craig Baxter, and then how what the gap is between those two and the rest of the field. Because we kind of want in this league, just kind of some variety. Craig Baxter's been pretty much ahead of the pack for nearly the whole time, isn't he? So we kind of want the variety. Like really, the fight has been, you know, who's going to get that third place podium, or last Austria, was it Sam Carpenter who got the third place?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, after he had a pretty poor start back in that Austria race, and then he kind of climbed back to third. So we have in our chat, we have a copy of you guys. I do want to say, you know, if any of you can make a comment on like our volume of the stream, like the volume of the game, Zach's voice, my voice, and see if it's all good. If you can hear Zach correctly, you know, just make a comment in the stream, and you know, just let me know if anything you want you needs changing. So we're on board with Baxter. He's on his another time lap. Did he go faster in that first sector? Yes, he did, and he's gone 2 tenths faster in that second sector now.
Yep, so he's building up. He's not going to get into the 29s with that pace. He might be holding back for Q2 a little bit, just getting a banker in and getting himself into Q2 for sure. Yeah,
we'll just spectate him as he finishes his lap. He'll probably go faster here. Let's see, a 130.07. Okay, so nearing the 129s now. As he goes back in, we have Jem. He's gone faster. He's gone 3 thousandths under the 130. So he takes his place on the top spots. So other times that we've seen, Sam Carpenter did the 131. He goes 9th. Philip Kraus goes 14th. As you know, these guys are just doing their time. Andrew Smith is 15th with a 132.7.
Sam there only with a 1.5 seconds off the pace off Jem's time, which he'll be quite disappointed with that. I'd be almost certain of. He definitely has to improve if he wants to try and get into the top 10 and into Q2.
Yeah, because like Sam Carpenter really is like one of those guys you expect to be, you know, that you have those two in Basti and Baxter, and then you have, you know, the rest, the best of the rest. You really expect to see Carpenter right up there with the best of the rest. So we'll have to see if he improves the time. He's currently outside the top 10, so at this moment he will not make it to Q2. So everybody else at the moment, I think this is currently spectating Kian as he starts his lap. What was that?
I'm getting some feedback here. If you just press F, it'll change the mode of the tower to get the gaps.
Yeah. So I've got the gaps there. All right. So so we can see there, like Craig Baxter's only 7/100ths behind Bullet Bassi, and then we have third Baxter's teammate Scott Davidson. He's 2 tenths further back. Then we have Eric Andre, 4th place. Evan Rice in 5th. Ishmael,
that's impressive.
Yeah, that's very impressive. He did not have a good Austria race last weekend, so this improved pace from Evan Rice. We'll, you know, we'll get to see where he goes. Definitely, personally, did not expect him to, you know, make it to Q2, but at the moment he's up there. We're currently spectating Kian White. He's currently in 7th. You definitely expect him to make it to Q2.
There'll be a few hard luck stories, I feel, at the end of this session. There's going to be a few people who'll be maybe hundredths off the top 10, and that'll be really disappointing for them. But that's how close it is in the midfield between the likes of Ismail, Kian, Kieran, Aiden, and Kevin, even Sam, who should be higher up, but he just can't seem to get a lap together.
Yeah, we'll go. Actually, we'll stay with Kian as he finishes a lap. We'll see if he goes faster, and then we'll switch to Sam. Switch to Carpenter right there. So White finishes his lap and he goes 4th with a 134. So he does improve in his time. So let's switch to Sam Carpenter. Is he on a time lap? I think he is. So
he is. Yes, he's up by about 600ths in the first sector.
Yep. So at the moment he does go faster, but like he has to find the overall 4 tenths. Oh, is that someone off the track? No?
Possibly.
Okay. That might have been me. So we stay with Sam there. He's found 8 tenths in that second sector. So at the moment he is on course to make it into that top 10 as we're just under 2 minutes left in the session. So we're really looking at that area around 10th place to see who makes it into Q2. Sam completes his lap. We see Carpenter. He goes up to 4th. 1.3 seconds there. He finds the pace that he needs to make it to Q2. As Jem, I think, went a bit faster there.
Yeah, fractionally just went faster.
Alright, so...
And ahead of Craig again, and Craig also improved.
Nice. So at the moment, I'm expectating Aiden Poulsen. He's currently in that critical 10th spot. So at the moment, he's making it through. But as you can see, the gaps there between him and Cox, it's 7 hundredths of a second between those two. So it's very marginal. It's very marginal. And then
very, very close. We've only got 50 seconds left on the clock as well. So these people are going to be going on their. Some of them will be on their final laps of the session.
And currently spectating Kevin Cox. Will he? I don't know if he can make it to make another time lap. So we'll go back to Poulsen. He's about to finish his lap. He's nearly half a second up on his previous best. So you expect him to improve his time? Maybe go up the order?
Yeah, he'll try and cement himself in the middle of the top 10.
He makes it 8th. So that's
8.
him, and he does not go for another go. So we'll see. We're currently spectating Ishmael Nadir. He is in 9th place. We see also Kieran Chadwick in the popular KRT. He's right up there. He, desperately wants to. He desperately wants to improve his time just to pull out a gap on Kevin Cox, which I don't know if Kevin Cox can complete another lap in time.
No, it's going to be a judge if Kieran can get ahead. Comes up to the line and there.
He stays in 10th. And I think, no, that's it. So that's it. Kevin Cox does not make it. Jake Ross does not make it. So there we have the top 10. Bullet Bassi first. Max is second. Nerek Andre third. Cam Carpenter fourth. We have Scott Davidson in 5th place. And then completing the top 10, Evan Rice in 6th. Kean White 7th. Aiden Poulsen 8th. Ishmael Nadir, sorry, in 9th place. And then Kieran Chadwick makes it to 10th place. The other KRT, Richard Taylor, not completing a lap.
We've got Andrew Smith, who's making up a fair few tenths in the opening sector, but he's 3 seconds down and he's run off the track, I believe. They're heading on to the hangar straight. Yeah, he's lost quite a bit of time there. So Kieran can breathe easy. He's through into Q2. Yeah, very, very close between Kieran and Kevin, and unfortunately for Kevin, he's going to start 11th.
At the moment, so yes, I think there was Ishmael completing a lap, so I did switch over. I did switch over too quickly. I think Ishmael was completing a lap there, even though he was completely safe. So there was no need to finish that lap, but he does improve to 7th place. Just to a quick update since I did switch to the other screen as we wait for these guys for the top 10 to come out for Q2. So as we see both Bullet Bassi and Baxter playing their trump cards, it seems like Bullet Bassi's currently got the upper hand. Do you think Baxter can respond and he can go faster than that?
I would assume so, but it's just so close between them that it could honestly just be a flip of the coin to see who gets pole. I know Craig isn't a huge fan of Silverstone compared to Jem, so I would say that Jem would probably emerge with pole position.
All right, so and obviously after that we'll have the battle for the best of the rest, and currently winning that battle is Scott Davidson. He's 3rd fastest after that session. Do you think they'll change? We have an Eric Andre, and Sam Carpenter on his tail.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if an Eric can get ahead of Scott and put himself on the 2nd row in 3rd. But Sam has to lift. I think he has to get on that 2nd row at least. Obviously the front row will obviously be locked out between Craig and Jem. It's just a battle to see who will be on the 2nd and 3rd rows.
Alright, as we await the start of the 2nd qualifying session, this will decide who goes on pole position, will decide our top 10 order. To recap those who did not make Q2, we have Kevin Cox, who finished in 11th, Jake Ross in 12th, Adam Crane in 13th, hope I do get these names right, Arturo Smaglia in 14th, We have a Philip Kraus in 15th, and as I say that, my HUD is
It was
going.
Andrew Smith and I think Andrew Smith, Daniel Maywood, and Richard Taylor.
Yeah, Richard Taylor, the only one not completing a lap. So
Yes.
we are just about to start the second session, and the cars are coming out, so I will switch back.
Oh, and there was almost a collision in the pit lane there between Ismail and Sam. That was very close on pit lane exit.
Sam, okay. Oh, and we have, oh my god. Okay, so we have cars overtaking each other in the pit lane, trying to get that, you know.
We're incredibly desperate to get that track position. Traffic seemed to be a bit of an issue in Q1.
So currently, who was the first to come out? Was that?
I believe it was one of the Vulcan cars. Yeah, yep. I think it was Keen White in the red Vulcan car.
Yeah.
Got out ahead of everyone else.
Yeah. So we kind of have Keen White, who has the advantage in that, you know, leading position. We have a Sam Carpenter right behind him. You know, he'll want to, you know, create a gap, but.
Well, Sam will have to be aware at the end of the lap that he'll have to have enough of a gap when he starts his lap, because he's going to catch that gap up through his qualifying lap on Kian, so he'll have to give Kian a lot of space so he can catch that up throughout his qualifying lap. And that'll be the same all the way down through the field, so it'll crescendo all the way down the entire grid.
And last to come out of the grid is Craig Baxter. He has waited till very late on to come out himself. He wants to let everybody else do their laps first, and then he'll follow on. So as we get ready to for these cars to start their time laps, we have Kian just about to cross the start finish line as he come down the pit straight. So you are spectating Kian White as he comes around. I want to see what is the typical first sector lap times as we see. What are these cars aiming for?
Around, I would believe in the 24s. Yeah, the mid 24s is a really good first sector. So Kian's on the 24.7, which I don't believe is the fastest, because I think Sam's immediately done a 24.6, which has taken that crown away from Kian. So he's already gaining time on Kian ahead, but I think he's got enough of a gap that he won't actually catch Kian by the end of his qualifying lap.
Yeah, as you can see, Kian, like Sam, as I say that, Sam, you know, if he improves a bit more time, you could say he could catch up just a bit, and and he could catch the which he does not want. As we see, this session is shorter than the last session, so we're already nearly 4 minutes left. As we see, what's Jem done? Jem's on the 24.6, so currently I do think Sam still has the fastest first sector.
Yeah, he was a couple of thousandths slower than Sam in the first sector, and Ismail's picked up the fastest middle. As Kian comes around the final corner, he's going to do 1 minute 30.1.
1 minute 30.1. We head to Sam. 1:30.1. So he goes 0.03 of a second faster than Kian.
Puts himself on provisional pole.
Yeah, and we have Kieran.
Kieran comes home.
Kieran Chadwick goes third. He's 3 tenths behind Sam.
And here comes Jem.
Jem, well, you know, Jem does his lap, and you know that's expected of him. 1:29.6. He's set the time to beat, especially for Baxter. As we go on Baxter now.
He's gone purple in the first sector. Now he's going to come to the second sector split, and it's going. I don't think it's purple.
It's not purple. It's not a purple second sector.
It's not purple. No, it's about 3 tenths down, I believe, on Jem's best sector.
Oh, wow, this is it's not the progress that Baxter's wanted.
No, and it looks like he's getting a little bit wayward there as he comes around the final corner. It's going to be run to the line, and he's going to set a 1 at 29.8.
So he does go second.
Jem. Yep.
He does get the expected second place, but 2 tenths. That is quite the gap. We expected kind of a closer gap between the two. We shall wait to see. Is anybody else out in on track?
Scott and Ismail are yet to set a lap.
No, and he's gone back in. I think he's
And here comes
happy.
Scott. I think Scott's coming out now. Yep.
Scott's coming out now.
And
So,
Ismail. And we've got a few. Another collision almost in the pit lane between Ismail and another.
that was Sam and
car.
Scott nearly having the collision there in the pits. Do not want that. Oh, and who was that at the back? That was
yeah.
And Kieran, he's crashed. I saw that was I think that was Ishmael coming out in the path of Kieran. Kieran had to slow down drastically, and I think he's there you go. He's crashed and he had to restart. So he's not had a good he has not had a good time there. But
Kieran's out there behind Craig.
Yeah, that's not a position where he wants to be.
So it looks like Aiden will be the last car on the road to actually do a qualifying time. They've got 1 minute and 18 left in the session, so it's actually going to be pretty close to see if they can actually get to the flag in time, especially with everyone backing up to give each other space. That might really compromise the last car in the pack. It'll be really close if Aiden can actually make it to the flag.
Yeah, Aiden's got 55 seconds. He's only just come down
We've got the front row very close to each other on track. Craig and Jem very close as they head through onto the hangar straight.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, Jem just ahead of Craig, so we will see. Ooh, will that affect Craig? Will you say? Craig's trying to get a gap, and I don't think that's possible.
I don't know if Jem's the type of person to play mind games, but there might be some being played right now.
Because Jem seems to have created a gap on his own, and I think he's trying to back himself back into Craig to try and affect him as they just start their time lapse. So it will be. Will Aiden have made it?
I think
he has. He just makes it as the timer just hits 0 as Aiden just makes it. Oh my god! But that's not a great first corner from Aiden.
We've got Enrique Andre going purple in the first sector. Now that's actually been thrown to Jem. He's now gone even faster in the first sector.
Oh yeah.
Actually, no. Now it's gone to Craig as well.
Oh, Craig does find the quickest first sector. So all that talk of Jem trying to back his way back into Baxter doesn't seem to affect Baxter. He's found the 24.5 fastest first sector. So this is going to be a great battle to the end. We'll see. But can Baxter claw back 2 tenths? Do you think that was possible?
He lost all his time in the middle sector, so it's really going to be down to if he can get a real improvement in the middle. Jem goes purple in the middle, and Craig is about 2 tenths slower than him.
Scott Davidson does a 1:29.7. He goes second at the moment. We'll see as these cars finish. Ishmael Dilly goes fifth. Kean White, sorry. He does not improve. But Bassi finishes his time 1:29.385.
Oh, that's the fastest start of the weekend.
What a time! Craig takes second place back, but what a time! What a time by Bassi. Baxter does retake second place. He goes a 1:29.6. That is a fast time in itself. So it is. But Bassi taking pole position.
A different face on the front row, at the head of the grid.
Yep, and a championship that has been dominated by Baxter. We see Bassi taking pole position. The 2 Defiance cars in Baxter and Davidson, second and third. We have an Eric Andre in 4th place. Ishmael Dade in 5th.
Very impressive.
Yep, very impressive by Andre. Sam Carpenter taking 6th. Did expect to see him, maybe higher up that. Kean White in 7th.
He should have been ahead of him, I think.
Yep, Kean White in 7th. We have Kieran Chadwick here in the KRT, 8th place, and then 9th and 10th we have Aidan Paulson and Evan Rice, who are both a second off the pace.
Yeah, so I don't think Evan actually did a run at the end with everyone else. He had the singular run at the start, which that was not setting himself up for success there.
Alright, so there we go. We have our grid. And the next session will be a warm-up session, won't it?
Yes, and I think I believe Ismail has a 5-place grid penalty as well, so he will start.
Oh, I did not know that. So thanks for telling me, Zach. All right, so Ismail has a 5-place grid penalty, so he will start from 10th.
So Sam will move up into 5th and puts himself on the 3rd row, the head of the 3rd row alongside Kian.
So as I say that, let's see what you guys are saying in chat. We have a copy chat. We have 31 viewers, so that is very good. Couple of congratulations to Jem. The gaps are massive. Hope the race is competitive at least, says Granville. We'll hope so, between the top 2 at least. And then the rest of the fields, I will say the rest of the field do seem, you know, really close to each other. As, well,
yeah.
Say from 3rd to 8th, that is. Justin Nater is saying, did the top 3 shake hands? I hope so. We don't want another handshake Gates style of.
Yes, good. Got to watch out that there's no highly controversial collision between Craig and Jim in this race.
Yep, I will hope so. Do they use launch control? I think they do.
Yes, they do.
Okay.
Yep. So it's mandatory. Everyone has to use launch control. Because of, I think, previous incident where someone decided to use a clutch and it didn't go very well. And these cars produce so much torque that I would be very impressed to see anyone start with a clutch.
I see. I think the cars are just coming out for their warm-up session. We'll wait to see if some cars do come out. And let's discuss like further down the field. So is the top 10 who get points. So let's like discuss those who did not make the second qualifying session. We have
Kevin Cox.
Kevin Cox.
He's always Mr. Reliable to drag himself into the points.
Yep, and Kevin Cox, how is he in the championship? He's got 47 points in the championship in 7th place. So you do trust to see him, get maybe a few points. If he can just seep into that top 10, maybe you can hope for a mistake in that opening corner, in that opening lap from those ahead of him.
He could really do with just a big wipeout, really. We don't want to see it, but if there was some sort of incident that resulted in Bassi and Baxter and possibly even Davidson retiring, that would be a tectonic battle between Andre, Nadir, Carpenter, even White and Chadwick would even weave themselves into that battle. That midfield will be very, very close, and strategy will probably play a very big part. I don't think anyone's going to be brave enough to touch the hards. I'm saying that they just can't switch the tyres on, so they'll be sticking to the softs and the mediums. The hards won't really be.
So it is a hard, soft, and hard, medium, soft tyre strategy that we have in this race.
Yes. Yep, it'll probably be primarily soft and medium.
Okay, as we see these cars coming out for their little warm-up, you have around about 7 minutes to just, get to grips with all their setups, with how they'll approach the race.
Yes, one of the big things that they will be doing is practicing the pit lane. Obviously the Silverstone pit lane is a bit unique in how it wraps around and where the line is to put on the pit limiter. So especially if you have the pit box that's right at the corner, so you turn around and the pit box is right there. That'll be a real challenge if you're unfortunate enough to have that pit box.
I always say, who's maybe the most likely driver to maybe make up the most places in like the opening laps? Maybe like the most aggressive, that he'll try and you know, go for those overtakes that maybe someone else will not go for, like in the opening laps. He'll try to save everything, you know, for later on in the race.
I think Philip Kraus would definitely be a driver that would just go for it straight from the get-go. He's very, very out of position there in 15th, so I think this is where he will just throw caution to the wind, really, and will go for whatever move he can, really, and get up those places.
Nice. So, all right, let's talk about Evan Rice. Last race, he did not have a very good race. Not a very good qualifying, and I think he had an engine failure or something.
I think
the last race.
It was a mixture of something. It was just it was an all-round poor race.
Yeah. So he starts. Well, he qualified 10th, but because Ishmael has that grid penalty, he will start from 9th. So, what do you think are his targets?
Good. I think if he can just keep it together and keep himself in the points, and hopefully if he's got a bit of luck, some drivers ahead will have a bit of misfortune and he can maybe pop himself. If he can get in the top 6, that'll be an extremely good result for him. But I think points is the bare minimum, I think, for him. He just needs to score points.
Yeah, we look at the chat. We have Granville saying, "Are they all wheel users?" I hope they are.
I think the majority of them are wheel users. There might be 1 or 2 pads, but there's no keyboards allowed.
Okay. I didn't know that. Well, yeah, I wouldn't trust that, you know, drivers to use keyboard. I don't think it's a really viable solution to use a keyboard to race. But so yeah, we do have mostly wheel users there.
And the thing that I will be very interested in seeing is the when people come out of the pits and then there are people going through turn 1 and how they'll merge as they head into turn, I think it's turn 3. It'll be it's going to be very, very, very close to see if there might be some form of collision, because it's just such a high speed part of the track that who knows what will happen there.
Yeah, around those like the Abbey and Farm Curve, all those turns,
yeah,
very high speeds.
Yeah, especially into Village, like the braking zone into Village. If someone's just come out of the pits and they're on the inside, person that's done the track and is on the outside, if what they will try and do. Yeah.
Personally, I do not, you know, seek to see, you know, any incidents or crashes like early on in the race. I'd rather have, you know, proper, like, you know, racing wheel to wheel action, but, you know, very clean. But it is inevitable that, you know, with these high speed corners, you know, it's and very, you know, a very competitive track, that we will see maybe a few incidents in that opening lap.
Yeah, I think if everything goes cleanly, we'll see Jem and Craig run to the distance, and they'll probably be nose and tail together, but gapping the field pretty dramatically, pretty quickly, which means that that battle will basically be over, because if one of them drops out of the race, well then that person's got such a gap that they'll just back off and wait, really.
I do apologise those in the stream who just heard the bang, because I just inadvertently kicked my table. So if you did hear a bang, I apologise.
We've only got 2 minutes left in the session before we will be going to the race. Drivers still coming out, testing the pit lane. So we've got cars pulled up in all sorts of places on the track, practicing starts. Evan Rice is on the old straight, the straight before Cops, practicing a start.
Yeah.
He pulls away now, smoking heavily. So obviously the engines will overheat quite a lot. As at the start of the race, and especially in the pit lane, but as they get air into the engine, they'll cool down and they'll be fine. But they've got to be very, very aware of that, especially in the pit lane. Don't rev your engine too heavily, or it'll be all over.
Yeah, but it's really that, you know, to get the perfect start is really crucial. You don't want to have too low revs and then, you know, just have a very, very poor start. You just get swamped immediately, and it's very difficult to get those places back. So we just have over a minute left in this warm-up session as we await the race start that will just around in a few minutes time. We will see these cars go lights out, and hopefully we have a full-on competitive race. So Zach, I will ask you, even though there will probably be only two viable answers, who is your prediction to win this race?
From a blind guess, I would probably say it looks like it'll be Jam. He looks like he's got the overall pace. Craig says he's struggling on the long runs, so my tip will be Jam. But if there's a collision at the start, or if there's calamity, it could be anyone.
Yeah, we'll see. I would say my money's on Jem as well, but you never count out Baxter. He's won so many races in this league. He's dominated from the start. He has such a gap in the championship that you expect greatness from him, and anything can happen if Jem's not on his 100%. Baxter's right there to take advantage. Even though Baxter has said that Silverstone isn't a good track for him.
Yeah.
And just to round off the podium, so both of us are going with Jem Bollick-Bassi in first place and Craig Baxter second. Who do you think will round up the podium?
I've been really impressed by Enrique Henry. This is his first race, and he's been very, very impressive to get straight in the car and put the car where he has. So I'm going to say if he can keep it together, I reckon he'll finish up in third place.
So that is this session over, as the cars go back into the pits to prepare for the race start. And I do want to ask you guys watching in the chat, who do you think will win this race? Who do you think will make the podium? Who do you think will be the surprise package of the race? Maybe someone who's starting at the back and maybe has a very good race and can grab some points.
I can see Jake saying immediately that Jem will win, obviously representing VD Sport. But Philip, I think he should try and get himself up into the points.
That is Philip Kraus. He starts from, what is it? Was it 15th place? I think it was.
Yeah, it was quite far down.
Yeah.
Out of character for him.
So as we see, yes, if you guys, if you wanna have a view on the live timing of the race, Scott has put a link in the chat. As we see any of your answers, Craig won the last race. Yes, he did. He won last race in Austria. Although it was very close between him and Jem.
Yeah, and I heard after the race that Jem thought there was another lap. So he...
Oh yes, I did hear that.
He was backing off, and he didn't realise that it was the last lap of the race, or else he would have put a bit more of a challenge on, probably for the lead.
Yes, because
so hopefully Jem knows how many laps is in this race, and he can be right on Craig's tail. 31 laps of the Silverstone circuit.
Yeah, that was something that afterwards pointed out, because Jem on those final laps was marginally closing the gap on Baxter. But in the end, he seemed to back off in that last lap, and in the end, it seemed like he was confused about the number of laps. Hopefully, he gets the memo this time and knows how many laps he does need to complete. He does not want to repeat this time. Maybe that he's in the lead, and he does not want to do the same mistake. As we are about to see the cars come out, ready to start the race. So just to remind you guys of the grid, we have Jem Bassi starting from pole position. Right behind him is Craig Baxter, and Baxter's teammate in third place is Scott Davidson. As we are prepared for the start, this is a formation lap, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So make sure there are no name tags as well. If they are there, just press tab.
No, I've got them off.
Good.
Because I did. That was something I forgot to do, didn't he?
Yes, there were tags through the entire race. Yes, so Jem's got to be really careful here, because if he lets the pack spread out too much, he'll be on the grid for a very long time, and that engine will get quite hot quite quickly, and really could put himself in danger of overheating, because he hasn't started from pole, obviously this season with these type of cars.
iBeast says, how close are the cars' performance to the actual F1 cars? I think they're all equal.
Within a tenth of real life as well.
Okay, within a tenth of real life, they're all equal to each other, and
Yep. Obviously it's open setup, but yeah, they're all equal. There's no additional gains, but in terms of comparing them to real life, almost within to the tenth.
Okay, that is really close. Those guys in the chats, I know I did ask this earlier, but if anything you think has changed in, the volume of my voice, in Zach's voice, or in the game volume that needs to be changed, just hit me up in the chat, and I'll quickly give that an edit, and we'll go from there. So these cars just coming down the Hagner Straight, ready to go around.
Make sure you're not on a delay as well.
What's that?
A delay. If you press enter, it'll have in the bottom right hand corner, if it says live,
Oh yeah.
it might say take delay.
Oh yeah.
Yep. So make sure it's live.
So as
Jem's pulled up very, very early onto the grid.
yes, that is very early. You expect these cars, trying to have a slow pace towards the grid as they heat those tires. Jem's taking it very early, so do you see maybe those tires will lose temperature as the race starts.
You'll watch out for that engine as well.
Yep. So as we take the lights. And away we go. The race has started in the British Grand Prix, and Jem takes a very good start. Craig Baxter seat behind, just ahead of his teammate Scott Davidson. As we look behind, and we seem to have a decent start from everybody.
Yep, we've got I think it's Sam putting the blowtorch on Scott straight away as we head to the limit. Yep,
oh, he's sleeping! Oh, Sam! That was Sam and Davidson having a collision, and when we have I think he's lost part of his wing, has he?
I believe so.
I know, we have more collisions at the back.
Calamity at the back.
Oh dear, who's that over there?
That's Smagalia of the Team Infinite car.
Oh, he's been involved in the collision.
The Drillers 2 car of David Maywood's also been involved, and Andrew Smith in the Revs car hasn't got a front wing.
Oh, and he's lost his front wing. He has to have an early pit stop. So that was what we feared. These high-speed corners going into low-speed corners would cause calamity, and it started well, and I think there is no, that was me, that was my mistake, sorry. I thought there was yellow flags around. But as we go down the Hanger Straight, we have James still in first place, second Baxter, Sam Carpenter third, even though he was involved in that collision with Scott Davidson. Scott Davidson fell right back to 10th place, so he's been, the victim of all that.
It was a bit opportunistic, I think, from Sam. He really just went for a dive into the loop. I would assume he would be getting a penalty for that, especially because he didn't let him back past. But it seems as though Jem has bolted away a bit.
We go back to Jem. He's opened the gap. He's nearly he's now a second over, second in front of Baxter. So very early on, you can see the very marginal pace difference between these two can turn into a very big gap. A very big gap, sorry.
If we've got Andrew Smith has come into the pits, obviously for a nose change.
Yes, that is Andrew Smith for that nose change. He will be right at the back.
He's got to be very careful that he doesn't overheat here with being in the pits for so long, but he's off and he's all good. Because we've got Kian seems to be right on the back of Sam. He seems to be a lot closer than anyone else is really on the track, but I think Evan Rice is under pressure. Yep, he is. Ismail right on the back of Evan Rice.
We have Ishmael there, right on the back of Rice. He's going to keep it, he's going to, you know, keep his patient there at the back. He doesn't want to, you know, make a move around this part of the track. You know, that'll easily lead to mistakes.
Evan's just got to be very calm here and doesn't allow Ismail to get into his head, because Evan prone to making a mistake, and he could end up doing so if he lets Ismail get to him. So we come to complete lap 2 though. It's Chembel Bassi that still leads British Grand Prix ahead of Craig Baxter, followed by Sam Carpenter and Kean White, and Kieran Chadwick, who complete the top 5.
Yeah, we see after lap 2 we have a 1.6, 1.7 gap between. Oh, and he hits the bollard there. Only that was a, you know, very weird mistake by Jem, but doesn't affect his pace. So it was just a minor mistake there. He's still got like a 1.4, 1.5 second gap to Craig Baxter in second place.
We'll have DRS activated soon, which will mean that overtakes galore, especially along these 2 DRS straights.
Yes, you have 2 straights. What is it on the national straight and
Wellington?
On Wellington.
Straight as well.
Oh yeah, Wellington and Hanger Straight. Yes.
Yep.
Always keep forgetting the DRS zones in Silverstone. So as we go along, we still have Gems. He's back to opening the gap. There's already a 2-second gap between him and Baxter. So already Baxter we see struggling, but the gap.
Ismail right on the back of Evan. He's going to be looking to try and get past Evan here. He seems to be getting quite impatient.
Ah yes, as we'll go on board with Ishmael. As here we have the DRS zone. Is he going to make a move? I don't think so. He's keeping his. He's keeping his patient behind Evan. Further up the field, we have Eric Andre not making the progress that we predicted. We predicted that he would make significant progress, but he's down there in 6th, behind the KRT of Chadwick. But as you see there, between the top 2, Jem already a 2.5 second gap. It's around a half a second per lap faster than Baxter. So not the margin that we saw in qualifying or in practice, might I say. Jem really showing his pace here in the race.
So we've got a yellow flag in sector 1. I think there's been some sort of incident. I think Jacob Ross has had an off, I believe. Yeah, I think Jake Ross has had an off somewhere.
Okay.
Yellow in sector 2. Andre's gone off the track.
Oh, Andre!
He's come off the track, and now he's going to be eaten up here by Jake Ross. He's going to try and go up on the inside into Cops.
And he does!
And
Andre with a monumental mistake goes off the track, and he's gone from 6th to 14th. Oh, not the start that we expected from him. We expected him to be right out there challenging for the podium. And he's going backwards.
And now we've got Evan Rice and Ismail Nadine going at it into
Oh, they're side by side.
And
but Evan keeps his position. Ishmael has another go. But Evan keeps his position. Evan Rice keeping his position as they complete this lap.
When Ismail runs off the track, he's getting very frustrated behind that car.
We'll go on board with Nadir here, as he's right in the back of Evan. He'll have a good go.
Philip Krauss is moving quite slowly. I think Philip's had a spin. He's down from 11th to 16th, so Philip's also been involved in something.
We'll go to Philip. Yeah, he's fallen way back.
Yeah, he got on the curb and spun it heading into the final corner.
Okay. And Evan and Nadir side by side. Oh my god, they make contact. They make slight contact. And Evan's still not giving up that position. He keeps 6th place.
Very, very good defending there from Evan. Defending with all his might, but here comes Ismail again. Is Ismail going to go up, try and go up on the inside into Cobbs?
Ishmael,
No, he doesn't.
no, he doesn't.
Oh.
Oh, wow. So, Evan, great defending from him. Great defending from Rice. As Nadir just can't get ahead, and he's as you can see, the gap ahead from the cars ahead is getting larger. So he must be very frustrated.
And Ismail's got to watch out. He'll be very fixated on Evan, but he's got to now watch out behind him, because Scott has closed up a couple of seconds in these last couple of laps, right up onto the back of Ismail. Yeah,
we have Scott Davison right at the back of these two. Obviously, Scott Davison had that incident with Carpenter in that first lap. He lost positions. He's come up to 8th, and he'll be right on the back. Oh, what happened to Ishmael there?
It was just a very, very big slide through the final corner. The tyres will be starting to get a little bit of grief.
We'll go on board with Davison as he's right at the back of Nadir.
And then he'll have the DRS, I believe, as well, in onto the Wellington Straight. But Scott just runs off the
Scott
track.
runs. Oh, he's wide. Oh, what's happened there?
He just got caught on the curb, I think, and just drove off the track.
And see, will Kevin Cox close the gap on him? No, he won't. So, Davison, you see, he had the opportunity there with Rice and Nadir just battling with each other. It was a real good opportunity for Davison to make those positions back, and instead he makes a mistake there, and he's lost sight of him.
Real rookie error, and I believe, yep, Smagala is out of the race. The Team Infinite car has retired and is out of the race.
Arturo Smagler, our first retirement of the race there. We're not sure what happened with him, but he did have an incident earlier on. So maybe something in relation to that. As we go back to the front, we have Jem. Now 4.5 seconds. This is just monumental pace from Jem Bolabasi.
He's got to watch out that Craig isn't playing the long game and might be conserving those tyres to go a fair bit longer into the race to really open up the strategy.
That is very true.
I wouldn't be surprised if Jem comes into the pits in this next couple of laps, because the tyres should last about 8 laps, especially the softs.
Yeah, so if Bolabasi was pushing hard there and Baxter doing the opposite, conserving these tyres, we'll see Bolabasi, you know, going into the pits very, very soon.
Yep. We haven't got any real close battles at the moment. There's a bit of a gap between everyone. There's a bit of a gaggle. Something's happened in Sector 1, and that's Daniel Maywood, who has spun round in the Drillers Motorsport 2 car.
Oh yes, we just see him recovering from a spin, and Philip Kraus takes 15th place from him, and he's smoking a bit there.
Oh,
is that another retirement?
Adam Craig had a.
Oh, Adam Crane and Jake Ross, they've made contact there. Jake Ross keeps the position. Did they make contact twice? Because I
think they did, yeah.
Yeah, yep. But you see Adam Crane right at the back of him. Will he have another go as they approach the Maggots and Beckett's and heading to the Hangar Straight?
I think, yeah, Adam Crane's lost a CD board.
As we go to Scott Davison, he makes the move on the day for 7th place. So that mistake earlier on doesn't seem to affect him. As he takes, then Nadir goes into the pits. He's definitely had a change of strategy there.
I don't think he was. No, he's the only one. I thought I saw peel into the pit lane, but it seems like Ismail has gone early. He's the only one that's going to pit.
We have Richard Taylor also in the pits. Yep, so from 14th, he's going into the pits.
So we've got a yellow in Sector 3.
Sector 3, what's happened here?
We've got a spin for Philip Kraus yet again.
Oh, Philip Kraus. He's not had a very good race. So where will Nadir come out? He's come out in 13th.
Yes, he's come out, and he's come out sort of in some clear air. He's got Adam Crane just ahead of him.
Yeah.
Sort of 4 or so seconds up the road.
So he's got some clear air, so he will hopefully get some pace.
We've got a feel for Philip Kraus. He's got some very big flat spots on that car. He's got to do an entire lap
Oh no, you would have to
spot.
think that he's pitting at the end of this lap.
I assume so, but that's a massive crash for. Oh my
Oh, as we go on boarded, Jake Ross and Adam Crane, a monumental crash.
That's a huge crash. That was Jake Ross upside down and into the wall on the old main straight.
I think that's his race over.
Crash.
That's his race over.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's lost a wheel.
So that's is that Crane without a front wing?
Yes it is.
Yeah.
Yes it is.
So he will come in. We have in the pits White and Evan Rice. They're right next to each other, these two.
And Aiden Paulson's coming as well.
Alright, so no pits yet from the front two. Jem, I think, will go in at the end of this lap. So, as we see, most of these cars are going in the pits, changing their softs, I think, for mediums.
Here comes Philip Krause eventually. The flat spots have become too much for him.
Philip Krause, who's had a really eventful race. In 14th, he's finally in the pit, so he can get rid of those flat spotted tyres.
Oh, we've got Daniel Maywood's had a reverse.
Oh, what's happened here? Down the Wellington Straight, we had Kevin Cox right ahead, and who's that ahead of him? Kian and Evan, I think, were having a battle there. One of them hit the bollard. They were definitely having a battle coming out of the pits as they came in together. I don't know if there was any contact, but they're very close to each other. Philip Krause finds 13th place ahead of Adam Crane there.
So something's happened because Evan has jumped Kian in the pits, which Evan was quite a few seconds behind Kian, because originally it was Kian and Sam that were battling.
Yeah.
And so into the pits comes Baxter.
Oh, Baxter's
and
pits.
Carpenter and Chadwick.
Carpenter, Chadwick, they've gone into the pits. Well, look, Bassi stayed out.
Still going.
So he's going a 9th lap on these sets of soft tyres. You'd think he's been pushing and Baxter's been holding back. But as you can see, Bassi not having any problem with these tyres. Everybody else pitting in the expected 8 laps. So whatever plan Baxter has, I don't think is gone very well. Except maybe Bassi may be starting to struggle with these tyres. So if Baxter can close the gap with these new sets, which I don't think he is, but who knows? Maybe Bassi's coming in at the end of this lap. We have Evan going ahead of Davidson there. Evan going up to 5th, or was it 4th there? So Evan's head of the... what's happened to Davison? Davison's out off.
No, I think he's... Let's have a look here. No, I think he's just had a very poor stop. I think because he came in at the same time as Craig, and so he might have had to wait for Craig to leave the box. So he's now behind Ismail, down 8th place. He runs a bit wide there.
Oh, we have Carpenter, Rice, Chadwick, Kian White and Nadir all together, and Davidson as well. These group of 6 cars.
We've now got Jem in the pits.
Jem has come into the pits. After 9 laps, we will see what the gap is between him and Baxter as he comes out of the pits. It's a very quick stop. Baxter just coming out of Vale and approaching Club Corner. But as we see, Bullet Bassi, no problem. He retains the lead.
Oh my.
And he has an 8-second lead. That whatever plan Baxter had, it is not gone to plan.
Yep. And now it looks like there's going to be a tectonic battle here for the final step of the podium between Carpenter Rice, who's made his way up from quite a few places, from I think he was about 6th or 7th before the pit stops.
And we have Chadwick and White, who will be battling as they approach the Wellington Straight. Well, we'll have DRS, but so will Chadwick, as he will have DRS on Evan Rice. Do you see any potential overtakes? Nope, they're holding back.
Yeah, I think they'll be really waiting for the hangar straight, in which they'll really be going for it. We've got to make sure that they don't get too close and have a massive incident like we saw here on this old main straight before Cops, like we did with Jake Ross and Adam Crane. So that was a huge crash. Yep,
let's go on board with the KRT car of Kieran Chadwick. As you can see, the rear of Evan Rice's car, as you can see further ahead, Carpenter. So he'll try and have a go. As we see Cox going ahead of Andre for 10th place. So that's for the final point.
Yep, that was just a clean move. We've got a yellow in sector 2, and that's Richard Taylor has spun. And he's got going again, but he's got to watch out. There'll be cars behind him. I believe that Adam Crane and yep, Maywood are coming up behind him. So Richard's got some defending to do.
So we go with the other KRT car. Richard, he's in 13th place. He's not had a very good race. So he has 2 cars behind him.
Third, bubbling away. It's about to become a 6-car fight.
Oh my goodness! Well, the main fight is between these 4: Carpenter, Rice, Chadwick, and White. Davison seems to have fallen back just a bit.
He's now coming back at them. He was quite a few seconds behind. He is on softs though, so he's doing something very different with the strategy.
Oh, Davison's on softs. So everybody else seems to be on mediums. So Davison's clearly on a different strategy. Here comes White on the inside of Chadwick. Does Chadwick hold the position? He has the inside line now. He does. And now White has got to watch out for Davison. Davison right at the back of White. Is he trying to make a move? No, he has a look. But he decides to stay back. He wants to wait for that hanger straight.
The DRS will be the most prized position that they will have.
I see. Like the main fight is between probably these 3: Chadwick, White, and Davison.
Oh, and King goes a bit wide there, so that's the Scott's now going to reel him in here like a fish. And where's he going to go? He's going to decide to go around the outside
Davison.
into Stowe.
Oh, is this a... No, I thought he had the move there. Oh, and he had a bit of oversteer there. So oh my goodness. This is a monumental battle between these cars. This is for 5th and 6th place.
We've got a yellow in sector 3. And that's Ismail spun round at the final corner.
Oh no.
So that moves Aiden Paulson up into 8th place.
Aiden Paulson goes up to 8th ahead of Ishmael there.
And we've got Enrique Andre
coming to the pit. I think he had a spin as well, coming out of Stowe corner. So he might have had a problem.
That's his 2nd stop of the race. He might think about strapping the hards on. And,
is he on hard tyres at the moment?
Oh, yes he is.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, I think he's just retired. Yep.
He's retired. He's pulled into the garage, so he's clearly had a problem there. So that's our 3rd retirement of this race. After Arturus Maglia and Jake Ross also retired earlier on.
That's really disappointing from Enrique as well. He looked really, really quick.
As we see further back, we have Richard Taylor in the pits along with Andrew Smith. So the back
two. The battle that for the final podium place has just heated up again.
We'll go.
They head onto the hanger straight for more DRS.
Oh my goodness! We have Rice. We have Chadwick right at the back of Rice. We have Davison at the back of Kean White. Davison round the outside again. Does he do it? He's gonna do it around the outside.
Into Stowe.
Oh
Fantastic
my goodness!
Move. That moves himself up into 6th place. He's got a few more cars to pass and he wants to get back up onto that podium. Next up, it's Kieran Chadwick.
Kieran Chadwick is Davison's next target. So after Davison had that incident with Carpenter earlier on, he's made his way back. And that podium place that he qualified in, he will feel that maybe he's robbed of. He wants it back.
Sam's going to be very careful if Scott gets up here because there'll be no stone unturned. Won't be holding back if they have a battle. As we look, it looks like Scott's just trying to have a go here on Kieran on the mediums versus the softs.
Davidson having a look on Chadwick. Chadwick looking very weird there. And Davidson's going to have a go. They're side by side.
Very good exit there from Scott as they head into Cobbs.
And he's got it. Up to 5th place, Davidson.
We have a yellow in sector 2. Seems to have cleared itself. But now that's Scott up into 5th place. These softs are working beautifully for him.
It's whatever strategy Davidson's gone, he's making the positions. That's what he needs to do.
Sam's on the hards, but now his teammate's going to come flying past.
Oh, here comes Rice. This is for 3rd place. And I think
there we go.
I think that was maybe an agreed swap of positions.
Yep, Sam's on the slower tyre. He's on the hards versus Evan, I think, on the mediums. So Evan needs to get a gap because he's not going to be going as long as Sam.
Richard again in the pits. What's going on?
Richard seems to be having a bit of a mare.
Yep. Just not a good afternoon. Oh, Davison having a look on Sam Carpenter. These two had the incident early on in the first race, and now they're back together. Carpenter does not give him the room. Oh, and there was contact there. Davidson goes right in the inside. Davidson takes 4th place.
What?
And I think Chadwick and Kian White having a tussle there.
Yep. It's all happening.
Sam having a look on, and that is Kian on Chadwick. So we have Kian taking 6th place from Chadwick. We have Davison taking 4th place from Carpenter. Carpenter, who has been in 3rd.
Evan's just bolting away. Evan is trying to get away from this as quick as he can.
Yeah, Everton seems to be on a very aggressive strategy. He wants to create the gap. And
Scott will probably be on these tyres for about 2 more laps, I think, because he's approaching lap 16, which is basically 8 laps is basically the life of those soft tyres. So
yeah,
he'll be coming in soon, probably strapping on the hard to maybe down to the end.
So as you can see, guys, the fantastic racing for the battle between 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th between these 5 cars. We switch back to the lead as Bassi is on his own. 12 seconds now.
Yes, he's in a complete and utter league of his own here. It's Craig Baxter's coming up to lap the Rebs car of Andrew Smith.
Yep. We go back to the battle for 3rd.
Right on the back of Evan Rice. So head through Abbey now.
Scott Davidson really wants to get ahead of Evan Rice if he wants to make the most of his strategy.
And he's going to most likely here with DRS as well.
Yep.
Assistance down the Wellington Straight.
Let's go on board with Scott Davidson.
Gearbox.
Right in his gearbox. He has a little bit of oversteer as he rides the curb, but he makes the overtake. Scott Davidson back into 3rd place. So after that first lap incident with Sam Carpenter, where he dropped to 10th, with whatever strategy he's going with, he has found his way back to 3rd. But you would think that sooner or later, he will go into the pits for his 2nd stop.
As now we've got a gaggle of cars behind him, going at it for, I believe, I think that's 5th place. Yep, Kian versus Sam versus Kieran. All separated by less than a second.
This might be been a delayed announcement, but Richard Taylor has retired. So all those pit stops has led to retirement. So that is 4 cars out of this race. And we're just past the halfway mark as Bassi starts the 16th lap.
As up on the inside goes Kian White on Sam Carpenter, pushes him off the track, and Kian
spun! And Kian spun! Kian spun and he's into the wall! Kian Oh no, Kian White, sorry! I almost said Kieran Chadwick.
Oh.
Luckily, he's the pits entry is right there.
New front wing, new set of tyres. I think he'd probably play the long game here and strap on a set of hards and go straight to the end of the race. But he's got, I believe it's Kevin Cox right behind. Kevin Cox
right behind. So whatever incident that has caused the spin of White, luckily that the pit entry
was under traction, I think. Yeah,
probably. But luckily the pit entry was right there for him.
Yep.
I think Philip Krause is also pitted.
Yep, and here comes Kieran Chadwick on Sam Carpenter up on the inside.
Kieran Chadwick takes 5th from Sam Carpenter. So Sam going backwards. I think
the hard tyres
are not working for him.
Yeah.
We hope to expect a pit stop from Davidson, as he's probably nearing the end life of these soft tyres.
And yep, and I was correct in saying Kian White is strapped on the hards.
Kian, he's come out in 11th and he's on the hard tyre. Is this enough to go to the end of the race, you think?
No one's really tested the hard, so this is sort of uncharted territory.
Okay, so maybe, who knows? Maybe this might be a strategy to go to the end of the race, but as we see with Sam Carpenter, these hard tyres don't seem to work. I don't think there's been enough practice on these hard tyres in Silverstone, so As we see, Davidson does not go into the pits, so soft tyres at the moment working for him.
Yeah, he's gone quite a few laps on those soft tyres. He's approaching 10 laps, I believe, on the soft. So that's quite impressive from Scott to be doing so many laps on those set of tyres at such speed as well.
You can see he's keeping the gap between him and Evan Rice. He's increasing it. So he's still got life in those soft tyres. He wants to use them to the fullest.
So we have Ismail, who sets the fastest lap of the race on a set of soft tyres.
Ishmael, who's in 8th place, he sets the fastest lap. So, pretty eventful first half of the race there, as we can see. Kian takes 10th from Adam Crane. So he wants to make up those positions quickly. Adam Crane's gone into the pits. My apologies.
We've got Philip Kraus and Kian White going at it there for the final points-paying position.
Yep. We have Kraus on those mediums, right on the tail of Kian, who's on the hard tyres. I would think maybe Kian will not challenge. Kraus maybe having a look, but not getting close enough. So, to recap, 18 laps gone. Jem Bollock-Bassi in the lead, 13 seconds ahead of Baxter, who has been on his own, really, in second place. I think that was him just lapping Andrew Smith.
Yep.
But his teammate, Davidson, third place, and he's having a good time in the second set of soft tyres. He does not seem to be struggling on them. But Evan Rice in the Sabre car, 4th. Chadwick in the KRT, 5th. Carpenter, 6th. Aiden Paulson, 7th. And then they're 8th. And rounding up the top 10, we have Kevin Cox in 9th. And Kian White, who had an incident. Actually, Kian White and Philip Kraus having a battle. And that was Kraus having a bit of a half spin.
Half spin, yeah. That won't do his softs. That won't do his mediums any good.
Nope.
But, it looks like Aiden Paulson's starting to gain on Sam Carpenter here on these hards. The hards just don't look like they're working at all.
As we can see, Kian not having the pace compared to Kraus, and then Kraus made that mistake. However, he was trying to get the pass done, and he just overcooked it. So these hard tyres, who drivers have admitted not having any practice in them, or barely any practice with them, you know, they don't seem to work. So we shall see how this affects the end of the race. But there's Evan Rice in the pit, and he follows Davidson in the pits. So these two come into the pits together. So Davidson has had a very good second stint with these soft tyres. I think he's putting on the mediums.
He is indeed.
And he comes out, and Evan Rice hasn't even come in.
I don't think that'll be end race material, a set of mediums at this point in the race. But
who knows?
Close.
Yeah, very close.
We'll see where Evan comes out.
Evan comes out. Clear air. Yeah, he's got clear air and ahead of Nadir, so he's in 7th place. And Davidson is a further 4 seconds ahead in 6th. He's right in the back of Aiden Paulson, and with his fresh tyres, you would think he would catch up to him within maybe another lap or two. So as we see now, 3rd place is Kieran Chadwick. I'm not sure he's made the second stop yet. He's still on those medium tyres.
Yeah, no, the top 5 are yet to stop.
Okay.
So Bollock-Bassi, Baxter, Chadwick, Carpenter, and Paulson.
As we see Davidson trying to close the gap on Paulson, but Paulson's due for a stop. So maybe he won't be too aggressive in trying to get an overtake done. So we see Paulson, 5th place ahead of Davidson, and I think that's Paulson going into the pits. Yeah, it is. So, lap 20. And so Carpenter. Yep, Carpenter in the pits ahead of him as well.
And Nadir's coming in as well.
So that's Carpenter, Paulson, and Nadir coming in for their second stop. We'll see what tyres these guys come on to. Sam Carpenter maybe on the softs.
So, throwing caution to the wind here, Mr. Carpenter.
Yeah. So he's got to complete 11 laps on these softs.
Work. Yeah, the hards didn't work for
yeah.
him. Not in the slightest, I don't think. Ismail, that's his third stop of the race, so a bit worried.
But he's on mediums, so you would think maybe those are good enough to go to the end of the race. Who knows? We shall see. We go back to the lead. We have Jem Bullock-Bassi. He's maybe due in for a second stop soon. But a class in his own. 15.5 seconds. Did you expect this, to be honest? Did you not maybe expect the close battle between him and Baxter in Austria?
Not to the extent that we're, like Austria, they were so very, very close. But this is, I don't think this has ever really happened. This is Craig's just been left in his wake.
I think for the first time in this league, Craig is Baxter's been really outdone here, outclassed. And there's Kieran Chadwick in the pits. So, he had a set of mediums on. Will he...
The real question is, where's he going to peel out?
We shall see. So, Davison goes past, Evan Rice goes past, Kevin Cox goes past. Will he be ahead of Sam Carpenter? I think he is. And he's on a set of softs. So, he's right in the back of Kevin Cox. And there's Sam Carpenter. So, he's right between Cox and Carpenter in 6th place.
Kevin Cox is that's rather impressive for him. He started 11th. He's shoved his way right into the battle for the podium into 5th place.
Yeah, he was one of those drivers that we discussed, you know, just outside that top 10. But if he had a good race, he could maybe seep into these points. And at the moment, 5th place, not bad. Not bad from Cox.
Really come out of nowhere after these stops. He just emerged as a real contender for some very solid points.
We shall see. We'll see maybe if Chadwick and Carpenter in a couple of laps will be right at the back of him.
I'd imagine Carpenter will get a penalty for his little...
Oh yes, we haven't gone back to that. I was probably awaiting a penalty, maybe from after the race, with his incident with Davison in the first lap. That's Baxter in the pits. He's coming in for his second stop.
Yellow in sector 2, and that's a spin for Kian White. Oh, and he spun again, and he's still spinning.
Oh no, that's his race over. You would think. Maybe. Yep, that's his race over.
Yep.
Kian, he had a decent race. He was battling there in for that, maybe for those podium places. And he had that incident like earlier on, just as he was about to pit, and then those hard tires just didn't work for him. So that's Kian out of the race.
So we've lost 5 drivers now out of the race.
Yep.
It's a real race of high attrition. Phil Krause now slid his way into the points as well, and he's had a fairly poor race himself. So
Krause,
he's been
right at the back for most of this race. Now because of all these retirements, he's found his way into that last point position.
How's Kevin Cox looking in terms of pace? He looks like he's...
We see into the pits comes the race leader, Bullock-Bassi.
Looks like Kevin Cox is one of the fastest drivers on the track at the moment, so he's Evan Rice has got to really watch out. And Jem's had to reverse there in the pits.
Oh, he's overshot. So that's a delay for Jem. Will that factor in? I think he's got enough of the gap, but it won't affect him that much. But a rare error from him. Yep, he's come out of the pits. Baxter's not even in sight.
Yep, he's lost about 4 or 5 tenths.
Yeah. So any hope there of maybe kind of a challenge for the end of the race there? No, it was a minor error there by Jem. We shall see. Cox and Chadwick are very close to each other. Chadwick in 6th, right at the back of Cox. Maybe down this Wellington straight, you would see maybe a DRS overtake from Chadwick.
Cox has really got to get the move on here and get right to the back of Evan Rice if he wants to keep himself in contention here for a 4th, 5th, or even a 6th.
We go board with Chadwick. We'll see if he maybe can, along with DRS, can get this move done. He's approaching. He's getting the move done. Maybe has a look at the inside, but no. Decides against it.
We got yellow in sector 2. Phillips in for another stop, and that's Daniel Maywood has had a spin.
Daniel Maywood, who's in 12th place, and he's had to wait for cars to go past to rejoin this race.
And Philip Krause emerges after his 3rd stop of the race.
Yeah, and he's 6 seconds behind Adam Crane in 10th spot, so maybe we'll probably see a battle into the end there for that final point position.
Yep, and here comes Cox and Chadwick.
Chadwick making the move on Cox. Will he get it done? And we have Carpenter right in the back of both of them. Chadwick gets the move done. He's in 5th place. And Carpenter having a go.
And in comes Cox.
Oh, Cox is going into the pits anyway. So, any battle that he wanted to get in there, he's not going to get involved. He's just going to make probably his final pit stop.
Yep, probably, I don't know if he's put on another compound. He might, yeah, he's putting the softs on to go to the end.
Yeah.
As
in goes Daniel Maywood as well.
Yep, he probably will have flat spots after his most recent incident.
Ishmael Nadir. So Cox comes out behind Ishmael Nadir. So Cox comes out in 9th. We'll see a battle probably between those two at the end of the race. As we see the current battle, probably the most interesting battle is for 5th place between Chadwick and Carpenter. Now Carpenter may have a penalty looming over him because of that incident between him and Davidson in that first lap. We see Kian in the chat. He's not happy. Not happy at all.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's just not a happy guy.
Yes, now,
very disappointing racing. So back to this race, we see. Oh, is that Chadwick right at the back of Evan Rice? So we have these three who were battling earlier, maybe for a podium position. Now this is for 4th place.
It's for 4th, yes. Scott has completely bolted away. It'll be a Defiance double podium if things keep going the way it is at the moment.
Okay, so intel from these drivers, Kian's saying that if anybody's getting the penalty, it will be Scott and not Sam.
Oh.
So the penalty is looming over Davison. That was probably not what we saw when we had a glimpse at that incident.
Ismail's coming yet again for another stop.
Oh no. So this might be... Is that... Maybe if he can get a quick pit stop, he'll be ahead of the battling Crane and Krause and keep a points position. We see Chadwick. We just missed it. Gets a move on Evan Rice. And now we have Carpenter right in the back of Evan Rice.
This is about to escalate here into a little civil war between the banana cars. I don't think Sam will be brave enough to try anything.
No,
to make
I think we'll probably see a move in the hanger straight in that DRS zone.
Aiden Paulson looming there in the background.
Yep, Aiden Paulson, you know, having a kind of a quiet race, to be honest, in 7th place. But
picking up pieces.
As you see, Kieran Chadwick had a bit of an off there. May have gone a bit wide, but he's kept his gap. But the gap between these two is around less than a second.
Yeah,
between
this
the
is,
three.
Incredibly close racing. Yeah.
We'll probably stay between these 3 races to see if anything happens. Probably Carpenter having a move on Evan.
Yeah, he has a bit of a look into Abby.
Having a look, and he's not going to do it. But maybe down the Wellington straight, he'll have a go with the DRS. But Evan will have DRS on Chadwick as well. So maybe Chadwick will be sitting duck, even though he's got a big gap. So let's go back on board with Sam. Side by side, the 2 Sabre cars. And Sam gets the move done down the inside.
Evan's got to really focus on not being disheartened from that. He's got to really focus. He's in 6th place. It's really good points. He just doesn't want to go making any mistakes now. He has to really focus.
Evan, early on in the race, maybe, you know, could have dreamt for a podium, maybe. And here he is. He has to settle for 6th. And he has to beware. Maybe Paulson can close the gap behind him. He just has to keep his concentration. But I would think Chadwick is now opening the gap between the 2 banana cars. Maybe 4th place is assured for him. Who knows? We still have 4 laps to go.
And also about Kian talking about Scott getting a penalty, that could open up a Chadwick podium.
Ah, yes. So if we do have a penalty looming over Davidson, which we thought was looming over Carpenter, maybe it will see Chadwick in the KRT, the very popular KRT, could have a podium. Who knows? We'll have to see. As we look, we discussed the battle between Kraus and Crane for that final points position. It's looming large between these two. Kraus will have the DRS. Will he make the move on Crane? He's going to go to the left, around the outside of Stowe. And he makes the move.
Oh, wow. Wait.
Kraus takes 10th place, the final points position, away from Adam Crane. Maybe Adam Crane will have a move again, but no.
They've got to watch out for, I think Maywood is a lap down, yeah. Maywood's a lap down, so he won't be challenging 10th place.
I think Maywood's a lap down on these two, so...
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
Yes.
So, the battles that have been very entertaining during the race seem to have dissipated as we approach the final few laps. There are...
Oh, here comes Aiden Paulson.
Aiden Paulson, he's closing the gap on Evan Rice. As we see, Evan Rice, he could have had the podium. And now he's fallen back to 6th, and he's got
company in the form of Aiden Paulson.
Yep, Paulson, you would see maybe in these final few laps can close the gap.
Yeah, Aiden's looked a couple of tenths faster in every sector that last lap.
We'll stay with Aiden for the duration. Let's see, maybe if he can close the gap towards Evan Rice. The gap is currently around a second and a half. So he won't have the DRS down this straight yet. But if he keeps closing the gap, who knows, he might have it the next lap. But as we see, Chadwick has opened the gap on the 2 Sabre cars. You would think he has the 4th place comfortably in his pocket with a looming podium.
He's only 6 seconds, about 6 seconds behind Scott Davidson. So
yeah, we will see probably what penalty Davidson will have after the race, and maybe Chadwick will have a podium in his hands. But as we go back to the battling cars, maybe Paulson still trying to close the gap to Evan Rice, but Evan Rice is responding and maybe closing the gap on Carpenter.
Yeah, so it looks like Aiden's a couple of tenths faster in the first 2 sectors. If they're going to come across the line, it'll be Aiden Paulson, who looks like he's getting close in the gap.
Yep.
On Evan Rice.
The gap is round about 1.3, 1.2 seconds. So again, will not get DRS in this lap. But he's still got 2 other laps where he can get DRS. Down to Wellington and maybe down the Hangar Straight, where he can possibly make a move.
Yeah, this will be a game of chess for calm heads, really. See if Evan can keep it together, keep himself composed, and not let Aiden get to him, because obviously Aiden will have a double dosage of DRS once he gets into that second window.
So as you say, Bullet Bassi has started. Is that the final lap?
Yes, it is.
It is the final lap. Okay. I thought there was 2 laps remaining, so so it is the final lap for Jem. He's comfortably in the lead. 18 seconds. I think he's about to lap the battling Crane and Maywood, even though... Oh no, Maywood's gone ahead. I think Maywood's unlapped himself from Crane.
Indeed, yes. Yes, yes. There'll be blue flags.
So these two need to get out of the way. And Crane does get out of the way. So he goes a lap down. And Maywood is soon to be 2 laps down, you would think. Or maybe Chen will allow him to maybe just complete 1 more lap. As we go back to maybe Paulson has not closed the gap. He's fallen back.
Yeah, I think it might be all over.
Yeah. Any chance that Paulson has had to close the gap might have gone.
Yep.
But we'll go on board with Bullet Bassi, as he will lap Maywood again. So Maywood will finish the race on this lap as well. As we go aboard, Bullet Bassi, he's about to come across rail and into club corner, into the finish. He will comfortably win the 10th round. The British Grand Prix goes to Bullet Bassi. Jem Bullet Bassi wins the British Grand Prix by a comfortable 18 seconds from the championship leader, who himself is about to finish the race, Craig Baxter.
Yeah, it was a good race from Jem, obviously, to get ahead of Craig. But, Craig drove a very, very calm race. Didn't get too frustrated. I think he knew that it was going to be the case that Jem was going to have the legs over him today.
And come across in 3rd place, Scott Davidson. But of course, he may have a penalty looming. Who knows? The incident between him and Carpenter. He's celebrating. But who knows? Is that podium going to get taken away? We'll have to see. Chadwick finishes in 4th. Carpenter 5th. Evan Rice 6th. He holds off Paulson for 6th place, who finishes 7th.
Kevin Cox
8th place. Ishmael Dadir. Kevin Cox getting the points that we discussed after qualifying, that if he could, you know, just concentrate and have a good race, incident-free race, he will grab some points. Nadir coming into the pits on the final lap. Interesting. But that's Kraus will finish off the points places in 10th place. So Kraus, after all those incidents earlier on, by the virtue of all the DNFs that he's had, he will finish in the final points position. And yeah, what a pretty good race. We expected incidents, maybe a few incidents, but maybe not to the extent that we saw.
Okay, we might try and grab Jem.
Probably should grab Jem. Maybe would want to grab Davidson and Carpenter. Maybe discuss those incidents.
Yep. We'll grab Jem.
I'll just very quickly mute rFactor. So as you can get those couple guys, we will conduct some interviews, some post-race interviews. We will see Jem, who was the race winner, and maybe get an interview with both Carpenter and Davidson. We will discuss that first lap incident, and maybe any repercussions that Davidson will suffer, that we thought maybe Carpenter was at fault there, but Kian giving us an intel that maybe Davidson is the most likely to get the penalty. We shall see.
We got Jem here. Is he here?
Hello.
Hello there. So Jem, that is at the end of the day, we expected something closer, but at the end of the day, a pretty comfortable win for you.
Yeah, I think Craig got some damage from lap 1, which helped me out a bit, and then I kind of set my setup to help out with the tire wear, which seemed pretty crucial on that front left tire. So I tried to manage it all race, and looked like I had better just tire management than Craig, which kind of helped me pull out a bit.
Yeah, so you're talking about that tire wear. Obviously, a lot of the other drivers had quite a few more stops than you, a few 3 stops and a few 4 stops even. So you say the tyre wear was really crucial to your victory, do you think?
I think yes. Well, I could have gone for a better, like a more difficult, like a qualifying setup, but rather than that, I tried to change some stuff to help out with the race. I think it helped out. Like getting pole was good too. Then we had a good start, and then it just carried on.
I did want to discuss, like it was a pretty uneventful race for you, other than that one point in that last pit stop where you kind of overshot.
Yeah, I was just checking if I was putting softs on rather than mediums, and then by that time I just missed my pit stops. Luckily, so I had a big lead, so it was fine.
Yeah.
But I just overshot it and that there.
Yeah.
Put it in reverse.
We kind of hyped ourselves up that maybe you overshooting may have allowed Craig to maybe close a bit more of the gap, but at the end it didn't affect at all.
We'll be close again next race, I assume.
I do hope so. I'm expecting more of a closer race after both of your battles between you two in Austria. I did expect a closer race between you two, but in the end of the day, it was a comfortable victory for you.
Yeah, it was fine. Austria was really fine too. It was just a close race, and I'm hoping for another one next race then.
All right, Jem. Thanks for talking for us, and
thank you for the commentating.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good luck for the next race.
Thank you.
No problem. We will probably maybe get Davidson and Carpenter in to conduct some interviews.
Yep. We'll see if we can.
Do you wanna maybe do them one by one or together?
Yeah, we'll grab Sam.
All right, we'll grab Carpenter first.
See if he's willing to have a chat. See, is he here? Here he is. Samuel.
There we go.
Hello.
Sam Carpenter. In the end, the 5th place finish. How do you feel about that?
To be honest, I'm not actually that annoyed. Kian, I thought, honestly, would have the pace on me all the race. And I mean, he did when I was on the hard stint, which was a really bad mistake. But, well, he spun and then he was out of it. And then Kieran was really the main rival from there. Yeah, he picked me at the line, but I'm not too annoyed, really.
Okay, we want to discuss that first lap incident that we saw between you and Davidson. Throughout the race, we thought may have been your fault, but intel from Kian saying that Davidson may have a penalty from that. What's your opinion on that?
Yeah, I think it was. I had a good run out of the previous right-hander. I wasn't trying to go up the inside. I was just taking a tighter line on the way in. He covered me off, and then didn't really see Craig in front. So he tapped Craig, which spun him round, and then I really had nowhere to go and flipped him as well. So there was no contact that from me that started the spin.
Okay, so we did not see the contact between him and Baxter. So that was something we missed. We grabbed it when you made contact with him and he spun round. Any word from you, Zach?
No, well, it was obviously a very good recovery drive to keep yourself in 5th place. But yeah, you were saying about Kian. He made the same mistake as you in the end and going on the hards, and that was basically the end of his race. Do you just think the hards didn't work? Yeah,
they were an awful mistake. I was actually getting much worse wear on them than most people were getting on the mediums in that stint, because most people went soft, medium, soft. In that race, I went soft, hard, soft in the end, and I had to pit a lap earlier than the 2 leaders because I just couldn't take the hards long enough. It was the fact that they were so low grip that they were actually sliding along the ground and causing more wear than the mediums were getting because they had better grip. So quite ironic.
Yes.
All right, Sam. Pretty good race. Congratulations, and we'll good luck on the next race.
No problem. Thank you.
Okay, as we would want to grab in Scott Davidson and see his opinion.
I don't think he's here. No, I think he's
gone?
He's run away.
He's run away. Okay, so Davidson's
he's
run
gone
away.
pretty quickly. Yeah, he's gone.
Do we want to grab someone else? Maybe. Do you want to? Who else is there? Actually, let's grab Evan. Let's grab Evan Nice. He had a kind of eventful race. We'll finish it off on Evan. We wanted Davidson's opinions on that incident, but in the end...
I also wanted to speak to Scott about he had so many overtakes during that race. So.
Oh yeah, exactly. He's had from 3rd to 10th back to 3rd. We will see what any repercussions he will have at the end of the race. But we have Evan Rice. You there?
Yeah.
Hello there. So pretty eventful race. You were kind of like in that battle, like kind of in this 6-car battle, multi-car battle between you, your teammate Sam. We had Chadwick there, Kian, Davidson for most of the race. Your opinions?
Yeah, my first stint was alright. I gained, I think, 2 or 3 positions off the start. And then I pitted a lap earlier than most of the people around me, so I got an undercut, and I ended up in 4th after the first pit stop. And Sam went on hards, which he really shouldn't have done because that lost him a few positions. And so I was in 4th until the last few laps when Kieran and Sam caught me because they were on softs and I was on mediums. The one mistake I made was in the middle stint, I just didn't manage my tires that well, the mediums that well, and so I couldn't last them long enough to go on softs at the end, like Kieran and Sam, which is what cost me at the end, but I'll take 6th after starting 9th.
Yeah, we saw that right at the end, like, well, you were at 4th at times, and then, you know, you get overtaken near the end by Chadwick and both your teammate Carpenter. Was there any, you know, kind of, you know, annoyance in them? Like, you could have been fighting for a podium there, and you end up 6th.
Not really. To be honest, going into this race, I wasn't expecting even. My goal was honestly top 8. So I honestly didn't think I was that quick. So I was honestly like I would have obviously liked to finish 4th, but I'll take 6th.
Okay. Yeah, and we'll discuss also at the end, like, you also, after the being overtaken by Carpenter, you had Aiden Paulson at the back. Was there any, like, you know, any pressure that maybe you could have lost 6th place as well?
Yeah, there was a little bit actually. I was kind of worried for a few laps, but with maybe 2 laps left, he kind of dropped off. So I think he was on softs and his tires just gave up at the end, and so that was kind of relieving. But yeah, there was a little bit of pressure, but I guess I managed.
All right. Any words, Zach?
Well, yes. Speaking about Aiden Paulson and like a few of the cars that you wouldn't have expected to leap their way in, like especially Kevin Cox at one point was up in around 5th or 4th place. So you were not worried about the surprise drivers on the different strategies?
Not really, because I mean I knew that Kevin and Adam, both of the Gruss cars, they tend to do alternate strategies to the rest of the field, and so I knew that when I saw Kevin in 5th, I was honestly hoping that he would hold up Sam and Kieran enough to where I'd have enough of a gap to last them out, but unfortunately he didn't, but that's all right. But yeah, I didn't really worry about them too much because I knew that they were on an alternate strategy, and so I figured that either he would have to pit one more time, or his tires would go off at the end, and he did end up making a 3rd pit stop. So yeah.
All right then. Thank you very much for joining us, Evan. Thanks for the entertaining battles that you provided us throughout the race, and good luck on the next race.
Yeah, that was a fun race. Thanks for having me.
No problem. And yeah, so we've heard from those 3 drivers. Unfortunately, we couldn't get Scott Davidson, which is one driver we wanted to talk to, but he's kind of quickly left. So I guess there's nothing else but to end it here. Then thanks everyone for joining us on a pretty eventful Silverstone race. In the end, it wasn't the guy who dominated the championship who won the race. It was the guy who's recently come in, Jem Bollock-Bassi. He's the winner. And any parting words, Zach?
Oh no, it was a very like the midfield battle was unbelievably close, especially at one point where we had the 6 cars battling for 3rd place. It just shows just how close the racing is. But Jem and Craig seemed to be a league in the road, and Jem was in even further in his own league today, which was a bit different, but a great race nonetheless.
Yeah, it proved that this Nebula League is just not about the guys winning. We have entertaining battles throughout the field. As I say that, in the end of the day, the race win is the one that matters, and the race win goes to Jem Bollock-Bassi. He's the winner in Silverstone, and we will see you next time in the next race, which is... Correct me, Zach?
Oh, I would not be sure.
Okay, we will see you whenever the next race is. Yeah, until next time, guys. Thanks for joining us. Goodbye.
Goodbye.